Welcome to the Accessible Art History YouTube channel. Today we are going to be discussing a fascinating aspect of medieval art history, relics and reliquaries. Before we get started with this video, it is important to note that many religions around the world have relics and reliquaries as a part of their faith. However, we will be focusing on Christian pieces for this video. A relic is the physical remain of a holy person or place. These objects were more than simple souvenirs or mementos. In the New Testament, objects touched by Christ or his disciples were imbued with healing powers of their own. Eventually, this belief grew to encompass any object or body part of a saint or holy person. They provided a tangible link between the human and the divine. Relics could be body parts, full bodies, pieces of clothing, personal objects, or even pieces of a landscape when the holy event took place. As long as a holy person interacted with the object, it could be a relic. The most valued relics are those associated with Jesus and his mother, the Virgin Mary. However, they were both fully bodily assumed into heaven, leaving no physical remains on earth. So, objects such as the crucifixion pieces, nails, parts of the cross and the crown of thorns, and pieces of the Virgin's clothing are used in place of body parts. A reliquary is the container that houses the relic. Often, they are designed in such a way that allows the viewer to see the relic inside. However, there are cases where the reliquary is shaped to indicate what kind of relic is contained within. They are often decorated with a variety of precious materials. This highlights just how special and sacred the relics inside were. Now we are going to examine some well-known examples of relics and reliquaries. These objects all illustrate different aspects of religious worship and will help you to understand just how important they were to the people of the Middle Ages. In life, Sainte Foy, or Faith in English, was a young Roman girl who practiced Christianity. However, in the early 4th century, this was still illegal and she was martyred during the Diocletian persecutions in 303 CE. When the Romans tried to execute her by placing her on a hot griddle, divine intervention stopped her from getting hurt, so they had no choice but to behead her. After her death, her relics were associated with several miracles, including curing blindness and providing visions. Although Sainte Foy died in Agen, France, her relics have resided in the Abbey Church of Sainte Foy in Conques for the last 1,000 years. Conques sits on one of the most important pilgrimage routes in the Catholic Church, the road to Santiago de Compostela. In order to entice pilgrims to enter their church and donate money, they needed a relic. So a monk from Conques stole the relics of Sainte Foy from Agen and brought them home. The reliquary of Sainte Foy is one of the most famous in medieval art history. She is seen seated on a grand throne and covered from head to toe in beautiful jewels. Many of these jewels were donated by patrons looking to seek favor with the saint. One detail that is shocking to some viewers is the masculine face that the reliquary has. Sainte Foy was around 12 when she died, so we expect the face of an innocent young girl. Art historians believe that this sculpture was not originally used as a reliquary, but instead was repurposed from the Roman statue of a male child. This would explain the discrepancy in appearance. The reuse of materials is called spolia. On one hand, it was practical and cost-effective, but on the other, it was a way to associate the object with the riches of the Roman Empire. It shows that Christianity was able to overcome the Romans and succeed as a world religion. The reliquary cross from the Cloisters Museum is a great example of how reliquaries could be used to represent what was held inside. The piece dates from the late 12th century and was made in France. It is composed of silver gilt around a wooden core and has a variety of decorations. Engravings representing what was held within, inscriptions, and the glass that was colored to represent precious gemstones. This reliquary is in the shape of a double-armed cross because it contains fragments from the true cross, or the device on which Jesus Christ was crucified upon. The small piece was placed behind a rock crystal window in the main shaft. Today it is hard to see, but in medieval times it would have been visible to all believers. Unlike our other two examples, this box is quite plain. It isn't covered with precious metals or jewels, but instead is a simple wooden box with a painted lid. On the outside, it seems unassuming. However, this reliquary box can actually tell us a lot about pilgrims and their journeys. Each of the scenes on the outside represents one of the rocks on the inside. The scenes all represent events in the Bible. The top half are from the Nativity, the bottom half are from Easter. They are divided in the middle by the main moment of the crucifixion. In order to complete the reliquary, a pilgrim had to visit each of these sites and carefully collect a piece of the landscape. Although they appear to be simple stones, they are actually powerful religious objects. Because these important events took place, the landscape has now become holy. By taking a piece with them, the pilgrim was able to take some of that holiness back to their home. To the modern eye, relics and reliquaries are just beautiful objects. But in fact, they are so much more than that. They were an essential part of medieval Christianity by providing a tangible link to the divine and a place in which to channel devotion.